The moment you open your mouth to explain yourself, you have already lost. Picture it. The accusation lands. A subtle jab at a dinner party, a quiet dig at your competence in a meeting, a lover twisting your words just enough to make you doubt yourself. You feel the heat rise in your chest. Your cortisol spikes. Your brain starts screaming, "They don't understand me. The truth is being distorted. I need to fix this now." So you speak, you clarify, you justify, you add context, and in that exact second, you hand them your throat. Because the world does not judge you by the truth of your words. It judges you by the desperation of your delivery. The one who explains is the one who submits. The one who defends is the one who silently accepts the other person's authority to judge them. Niccolo Machiavelli understood a brutal truth that modern society has tried to breed out of you. Power is not about being right. Power is about who holds the frame. And the moment you defend yourself, you step into their frame. You become the defendant in their courtroom. But what if you didn't? What if, when the attack comes, you did the one thing that terrifies a manipulator more than anything else? Most people live their entire lives as emotional puppets, pulled by the strings of other people's opinions. Someone frowns. They apologize. Someone accuses. They explain. Someone misunderstands. They panic. They live in a constant state of reactive defense, trying to prove they are good, smart, or worthy. It's exhausting. It's humiliating. And over time, it slowly suffocates the soul. But there is another way, a way of moving through the world that is so detached, so sovereign, so psychologically sealed, that insults don't just bounce off you, they dissolve before they even touch you. This isn't about being cold. It isn't about arrogance. It's about a fundamental shift in where you derive your reality. Today, we're going to dissect the psychology of non-defense, why your biology betrays you in moments of conflict, and how to override it with a strategy Machiavelli would have whispered to a prince. I'll show you how to flip the power dynamic instantly, how to make the attacker doubt themselves, how to use silence not as weakness, but as a weapon. But be warned, this requires killing a part of yourself you've been feeding since childhood, the part that begs to be understood, the part that needs permission. If you can kill that need, you become dangerous. You become untouchable. Let's begin. So why do you do it? Why the moment someone challenges you is your instinct to prove your innocence? It starts in childhood. Think back to when you were 5 years old. A parent or teacher accuses you of something. What was the only escape from punishment? Explanation. I didn't break it. It fell. I didn't hit him. He hit me first. You learned something very early. Authority figures hold judgment, and survival meant convincing them you were good. The problem is, you grew up, but your nervous system didn't. Now you walk through life projecting that authority onto everyone, your boss, your partner, strangers online, even people who don't matter. When you defend yourself, you are subconsciously saying, "You are the judge. I am the child. Please approve me so I can feel safe again." And whether people admit it or not, that energy reeks of weakness. Humans are primal creatures. We can smell submission instantly. Machiavelli wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved." Translate that to modern life. It is much safer to be respected than understood. When you rush to explain, you're choosing understanding over respect. You're saying, "Please get me. Please see my intent." But kings don't explain decrees. Lions don't explain hunts. The moment you start rambling, Giving reasons, pulling receipts, revisiting the past, you reveal something dangerous. Your internal stability depends on their agreement. You've just handed them the key to your house, and once they have it, they can trash the place whenever they want. Here's the trap most people never escape. They think, if I explain it clearly enough, they'll finally understand. How often does that actually happen? Almost never, because the attack was never about facts. It was about power. They didn't accuse you to learn the truth. They accused you to see if you'd react, and you did. The first step to becoming untouchable is realizing something uncomfortable. The courtroom does not exist. There is no judge, no jury, only you and your perception of reality. When you stop treating people like judges, their accusations stop sounding like sentences. They start sounding like opinions. And opinions are just noise. So what happens when you don't jump? Imagine this. Someone throws a verbal spike at you. You're being incredibly selfish right now. The old you reacts instantly. No, I'm not. I did X, Y, and Z for you yesterday. I'm just tired. Defensive, predictable, weak. Now imagine the Machiavellian response. They say it again. You're being incredibly selfish right now. You look at them. You hold eye contact. Your face stays neutral, and you say nothing. 3 seconds, 4, 5. That silence creates a psychological vacuum. The human brain hates silence during conflict. It signals uncertainty. It signals loss of control. You're not playing the game. So they start filling the void. I mean, not always, just right now. Why are you looking at me like that? They start defending themselves. The power has flipped. This is the gray rock method, weaponized. You become a void, and a void cannot be attacked. You can't punch mist. You can't cut water. By refusing to provide resistance, their attack passes straight through you and destabilizes them. This takes discipline, because inside, your ego is screaming, say something, fight back. You must leash that impulse. Machiavelli knew the most powerful person in the room is the one who cannot be read. When you defend, you reveal your values. You reveal your insecurities. You show where it hurts. I'm not stupid. Now they know intelligence is your wound. I'm not a bad person. Now they know morality is your weak spot. Silence reveals nothing. It's a dark mirror, and when they stare into it, they only see their own aggression. Sometimes silence isn't enough. Sometimes you need words, but never defensive ones. If you must speak, you don't push back, you pull. This is conversational aikido. There's a technique called agree and amplify. If someone accuses you of something absurd, defending validates the absurdity. Instead, exaggerate it. They say, you're obsessed with money, you're greedy. Weak response, no, I'm not. I just want to provide. Predictable, power move. You caught me. I swim in a vault of gold coins every Tuesday. Terrible for my back. Flat face, slight smirk. What just happened? You refused to be insulted. You showed zero insecurity. You reframed reality. You took their knife and started peeling an apple with it. That's amused mastery, the highest status state. It's the calm of a parent watching a toddler's tantrum. You don't argue. You don't get emotional. You observe. Robert Greene calls this recreating yourself, refusing the identities others try to force onto you. You're arrogant. I prefer charmingly confident. You don't care about anyone. I'm working on it. Savage, dismissive, and strangely attractive. Why? Because you are whole. If you defend, it's often because, deep down, you fear they might be right. And that's the real work. Here's the final layer, Every conflict has a hidden structure, a judge and a defendant. The judge asks, the defendant answers. Whoever answers is losing status, so refuse the role. They ask, why are you always late? Weak, there was traffic. Power move, why does my arrival time affect you so much? Now we're not discussing the clock, we're discussing them. You shift the spotlight. This drives manipulators insane. They want you reactive. Instead, you're observing them like a specimen. It's interesting you see it that way. Does saying that make you feel better? You acknowledge the sound, not the meaning. That's a boundary. Now the paradox. Sometimes the strongest move is to agree, calmly. You're right. And stop talking. This is fogging. When someone pushes against resistance and finds none, they fall forward. But here's the key. Admit the fact, not the shame. You messed up the report. You're incompetent. Weak, I'm not incompetent. Strong, you're right. The report has errors. I'll fix it. You ignored the insult. You owned the action. Only secure people do that. Insecure people fight to protect their image. Secure people move forward. None of this works if it's just technique. Energy matters more than words. If your voice shakes, it fails. The ultimate defense is self-knowledge. If someone calls you something false, it won't touch you. If they hit a wound, it will. So, integrate your shadow. You cannot shame someone who has already accepted themselves. This is what it means to be untouchable. So here's the challenge. For 7 days, no explanations. If you're late, I'm late. No reason. If someone misunderstands you, let them. Sit in the discomfort. Let the urge to explain burn out. Watch what happens. Confusion, then respect, then magnetism, because certainty is rare, and nothing signals certainty louder than someone who doesn't need to justify their existence. If this philosophy resonates with the darker, deeper part of you, the part tired of performing, you already know what to do. Subscribe, not because I asked, but because you're done living like prey in a world of predators.